Hi guys, this is Mrs. Fanton. Today we're going to talk about tone in literature. Okay, so you might be asking, what is tone? The definition of tone is it's the attitude of the writer towards the subject or the audience. It's the way that they are portraying themselves. So does attitude equal mood? I don't know, let's figure that out. So the definition of attitude, it's a behavior or a person adopts towards other people, things, incidences, or happenings. So how does tone relate to theme? And what is theme? Well, we talked about theme earlier in the course. Theme is a life lesson, a meaning, a moral, or message about life or human nature that is communicated through a literary work. How an author approaches the main theme of the story and the subjects contained in the story is directly linked to how the tone of the piece is conveyed. So what is the tone? In the following examples, we will read the sentences and attempt to determine the tone the author wishes to convey to us. So let's do this together. Here we go. Here's a real life example. My mother gazed at the stairs while I sat there in silence, slapping the mosquitoes away as they landed on me, hoping for a meal. The stars are so bright tonight. Isn't it great that we live miles away from the city lights? We can always see the stars. I slapped another handful of mosquitoes away while saying, "Yeah, it's great, Mom. In the starlight, no one can see my pink, itchy, bumpy body." So what's the tone? Hmm. You could say it's sarcastic, maybe a little condescending. Something like that would be fantastic. So you can tell the author's trying to portray some kind of like negative attitude. Let's try another example. This one's from Othello. Thus do I ever make my fool my purse, for I mine own gained knowledge should purvey. If I would if I would time expend with such a snipe, but for my sport and profit, I hate the more, and it is thought abroad that twixt my sheets he has done my office. I not if it be true, but I for mere suspicion in that kind will do as it for surety. So what's the tone? You could tell the author's being kind of cynical, a little bit paranoid, worried about what's happening. And that one's kind of hard. Let's try one more together. This one's from A Tale of Two Cities by Charles Dickens. There is a steaming mist in all the hollows, and it had roamed in its forlornness up the hill, like an evil spirit, seeking rest and finding none, a clammy and intensely cold mist. It made its slow way through the air in ripples that visibly followed and overspread one another, as the waves of an unwholesome sea might do. It was dense enough to to shut out everything from the light as the coach lamps, but these its own workings, and a few yards of row, and the reek of the laboring horses steamed into it, as if they had made it all. So what's the tone? What is the author trying to get across to you? It's kind of foreboding, a little bit fearful, kind of scary. Think about the words they use: steaming mist from the hollow, intensely cold mist, an evil spirit, unwholesome sea. All those words are trying to make it very scary. All right, so voice and tone. How does voice relate to tone? No two literary pieces have the exact same voice. Do you know why? Voice is conveyed both through the narration and the actions and words of the characters. So the way that the things that happen in the story, as well as the way it's told, change the voice of the piece. So how does the voice relate to tone? It's a really good question. The voice relates to the tone by portraying a certain type of mood. So we're going to talk about mood. The mood is the atmosphere of a literary piece. Imagery plays a huge part in the mood of a written work. So like we heard in the story earlier, describing the scenery, whether it's dark and gloomy or bright and cheerful, that's going to change the mood of the story. The author can convey the mood by the setting, the diction, the tone, and the theme. All right, let's recap everything we've learned. First, tone is the attitude of the writer that is conveyed through how the writer portrays the subject. It's based on the theme of the story. It's the lesson, meaning, moral, or message about life or human nature. Mood is all about how the author conveys the setting, the theme, and their use of figurative language. Voice is determined by the actions of the characters and the narration provided by the author. All right, let's do the exit ticket. We're getting to the end here. On this next page, you will see an example. You're going to go ahead and read the example and determine the tone. Then we'll go back to our class website and you're going to type out the tone in the comment box. Okay? So here's the example. I'll go ahead and read it to you. Tiger, tiger, burning bright in the forest of the night. What immortal hand or eye could frame thy fearful symmetry? In what distant deeps or skies burnt the fire of thine eyes? On what wings dare he aspire? What the hand dare seize the fire? And what shoulder and what art could twist the sinews of thy heart? And when thy heart began to beat, what dread hand and what dread feet? What the hammer? What the chain? In what furnace was thy brain? What the anvil? What dread gasp dare its deadly terrors clasp? When the stars threw down their spears and watered heaven with their tears, did he smile his work to see? Did he who made the lamb make thee? Tiger, tiger, burning bright in the forest of the night, what immortal hand or eye dare frame thy fearful symmetry? All right, go ahead and think about what is the tone? Is it sarcastic? Is it hopeful? Is it scary? Is it paranoid? What is it? And go ahead and type that in the comment box on our thing. Great job, guys. I'll see you again next time.